Hey, Internet. Welcome back to Same-ish Different Day, the podcast where we continue the march into madness. I'm Raza Malik, and I'm joined with my Amazeballs co-host, Bailey Nargang. Also featuring the lovely Wine Mom, the arbiter of everything TikTok and YouTube.
Hey, it's Wine Mom.
Bailey here. Gotta drop that reminder that you can find this show on any streaming service you use. Remember to leave a sassy review, and you want to bash us or our opinions generally? Well, you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and maybe some other places in the future.
I join these guys weekly to keep their egos in check as we break down complex social issues and talk about why your kids shouldn't be watching family vloggers.
We talk about real ish on a real level. Ain't got time for the Twitters? Don't worry, we have collectively wasted our existence combing the internet for you.
Also, before these two get carried away, don't be shy. Join our Discord for the inside scoop. You can also support us on Patreon, where you can work your way up our very own class system. And don't worry, it's pay to win.
So, welcome back to another episode of Same Shit, Different Day, where we try not to rip each other's heads off.
Let's get it. What's up, internets? Welcome to Same-ish Different Day, the podcast with a name that Raza doesn't let me say without giggling anymore. This week,
Diarrhea.
we wanted to talk about, not diarrhea, Marvel fatigue. Since
Oh.
Marvel is
Same
pumping
thing,
out...
right?
Yeah, same thing, pretty close, feels like it. It has the same bad afterburn feeling, you know what I mean? But, so...
It makes
since
your intestines just fucking shrivel up and leave you in, like, just going for, oh my god. Oh my god. Sorry, Bailey.
No, it should. This is now the diarrhea podcast. But, so, if they're pumping out content at such a high rate, all these TV shows and movies, has fatigue set in, or are we having hipster syndrome where it's now edgy? Like if you're a Zoomer, it's edgy to not like Marvel, right? If we're saying that fatigue has set in, though, which I have a strong feeling that's where we're going to lean, why are these movies still making money? Like, people are still paying for them, even us suckers in some cases, right?
You.
Doctor Strange made $180 million as of May 9th. And why haven't these things slowed down? Are we just going to, like, are they just going to expect us to go regardless of it, if it's a good product or not? So,
Yeah.
A, is the fatigue real? B, are we just going to keep going like chills that we are?
Yeah. Okay. I have had Marvel. I'm probably gonna jump into this and kickstart it because your boy over here loved Marvel up until Endgame, and then I was just like, okay, cool. Hopefully they take a year or two off just to recalibrate. And like, no, we're gonna come out with what whatever the next one was. And I was like, God damn it! But to me, it was the originality of the Infinity Saga, Endgame, Iron Man to Endgame, and that's called the Infinity Saga. I thought the originality and the uniqueness of that saga kept it fresh because it was the first time movies have done like crossovers in that sort of sense, right? And like cameos, like not North American type shit. I know like Eastern stuff has done it over, but like for Marvel, it was like sort of like super unique seeing these characters interact with one another, even though they're not part of the same movie. But now post Endgame, I'm just like, okay, what else can you do? What else is there? And they're pumping at the same sort of thing. So there's a template there, and we're seeing it. But like, and they're filling up the template where it's becoming kind of like the same. Like you can even see the posters. Look at all the Marvel posters. They look the exact same. So, like, yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah. Okay, so you're saying the template, you enjoyed the template when it was the first time seeing it, and now you're just kind of sick of it.
Yeah, just do something new. If you're gonna do something, like keep the template, but just play around with it some rather than keeping it the same sort of like three-story arc and
Mm.
stuff like that, like
Mhm.
actually have like meat in your story. You know what I mean?
Valid,
Now it's
valid.
becoming like McDonald's of movies now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like
True.
they found that whole basis of like getting a lot of new fans from giving directors like James Gunn a chance and like trying new wacky
Yeah.
things. And then
Yeah.
that soul kind of slowly faded out of it. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like that's a hot take. I don't think it's completely soulless, but there's something to
I
be
mean,
said about you're right that the templates are so similar
yeah.
now that it's like they're not differing as much. But
Yeah.
I know you got some hot opinions here, Wine Mom. I know you're not the biggest fan of superheroes.
Go off, Queen.
Go
Okay.
off.
It's not that I don't like superheroes, right? I like
Hmm.
superheroes where they're supposed to be, if that makes sense.
Hmm.
I feel like at this point I don't need 13 superhero movies a year. I think I'm pretty over it now.
Valid.
I don't need to see different universes interacting anymore. It's boring. I'm over it. I don't care. I'm tired of seeing the same two superheroes having movies. I don't care anymore. I'm
Hmm.
ready to see, like, if you're gonna do it, like, show me some other. I'll say I did not watch WandaVision. Let me just say that I did not. But from the concepts that I've seen from the outside, at least it was something interesting, something new, something different. It was a female superhero, which is not often done, or if it is done, not done well. So I
Hmm.
respected that for what it was. But I feel like
Hmm.
that was the only superhero content that I've needed for the last 5 years. If I'm
Yeah.
going to say anything, like literally, that they should have only done that and done it maybe a little bit better because I've heard some people say that it wasn't 100% great. So it's
Hmm.
like I feel like they're not when they're doing them, they're not doing them to the best of their abilities because you can see we've talked about this. Aquaman was the trashiest movie to have ever come out. Ever. The storyline was beautiful, but the,
Yeah.
the presentation was absolute garbage. And you had Jason
Yeah.
Momoa and you fumbled it.
And yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
but again, the
I
thing for
forgot
me
about the
is
movie.
I feel like the only movies that are ever coming out anymore are superhero movies.
Hmm.
That's it now. Like and
Yeah.
it's not even superhero fatigue for me. It's that like I'm literally bored. I'm bored. This is boring. I'm over it. I don't care. I don't need to see the same 10 stories. I don't need you to like stretch a plot line to try and make another movie. Like I don't care. We need
Yeah.
something
So
interesting, something new.
those exact feelings you were describing hit me when I saw what was it? Uh, when I saw, I think it was Ant-Man and the Wasp or something.
Honestly, I'm just going to tell you when they did Spider-Man again, even though it wasn't Toby, I was like, "Okay, fine, whatever. You got to do a new Spider-Man for the people that are here."
Mhm.
And then they did it again with another Spider-Man. Like
Yeah,
they casted another actor to play Spider-Man.
yeah.
Then they did Spider-Verse. Then they did another fucking Spider-Man movie.
Leave
I'm
Spider-Verse
sorry,
out of here.
Spider-Verse I did not enjoy. My point is,
You
stop
go
making
home.
Spider-Man. No, but stop making Spider-Man movies. Stop ruining that franchise. Stop it. It's enough. We have enough.
Oh
We don't
boy.
need any more of the same story just with different actors.
Yeah.
Literally, you guys like they ruined Spider-Man for me. My
Mhm.
favorite superhero, my favorite storyline. They ruined it by
Yeah.
redoing it over and over again with different like explain to me why we needed three different Spider-Mans.
It's to make sure Disney's shares were up.
Yeah,
Just for
No,
that.
more money,
but
more
Yeah.
they
money. I
fucked it
got
Yeah.
up.
three backups. Now one fails,
Yeah.
I can make movies about the two others.
Okay,
And
but
then,
by doing that, they
yeah.
then had to make that final movie. It's stupid. It's all dumb.
Yeah.
It's enough.
Like
I'm over it. Let's stop. Let's do something
I
else. You know what I mean?
I just yeah, no, I agree. Like I just saw the new Doctor Strange movie, Wine Mom, and I shit you not, if you if you played Spider-Man Far From Home and then play for me, and then after that played the new Doctor Strange movie, I could not tell you the difference. All I could be like,
Bro.
oh, one has Spider-Man in it. That's the
And how
only
disappointing
thing.
is that? How
Yeah,
disappointing is that? As somebody who is like a consumer, how
yeah.
disappointing is that? Because here's the
Honestly,
thing.
yeah, it
Here's the
is.
thing. As a director, okay,
Hmm.
I would be absolutely embarrassed if a bunch of people went and spent all this money to see my movie. Okay, sure, you're gonna make bank. You're gonna make bank. Great, that's so great for you. But if
Hmm.
it was me and I had created something and everybody was like, "Okay, this is the same movie we've already seen. Like, what is the point? Sure, it was a good movie, but like, whatever."
Yeah.
That would be so embarrassing. I
Hmm.
would never make
Yeah.
another movie. I would never make
Yeah, I
another movie.
agree.
I don't care how
I
much
agree.
fucking money I make. I would be like, well, my career is over. Because why are you recycling somebody else's garbage? I don't get it. Why are we doing that?
It's because I think Marvel, like the MCU specifically, has gone to the point where, in my eyes, and the last two movies have like basically proven this, is that like they don't really care per se about
No.
that story that they're trying to tell. They're like, oh, look what we have, Tobey Maguire. We also have Andrew Garfield. We also have Doctor Strange, and we also have this shit here. Look at this, guys. Don't worry about the story, but worry about
Right.
focus on the fan service we are giving you.
Right. But
Focus on that.
so the other question that you asked, right? Because
Hmm.
first of all, is it fatigue? No, it's not fatigue. It's I'm fucking
Hmm.
bored. Grow up and do something else. You guys are a bunch of adults reliving your elementary school dreams. Make a different
Okay.
fucking movie. Okay? We're
Jesus.
over it
Okay.
now. We've seen enough superhero stuff.
Okay.
But the other question is why are we still doing it even though people are starting to get tired of it? Why are we still doing it? Because of
Yeah.
fucking children. Because
Yeah.
Hollywood has no self-respect. They're going to keep pumping out these half-ass superhero movies so they can continue to sell Halloween
Mhm.
costumes and
Yeah.
plastic figurines and movies and bullshit to kids because that's the only way they can make
Yeah.
money is by forcing parents to buy stupid bullshit.
Oh
That's how they're
100%.
doing
man.
it.
Yeah.
I knew you'd come in spicy here, Mom. Good
Yeah.
job. You delivered on expectations today, fam.
Yeah. Thank God.
Woo!
Thank
I'm
God.
just saying, it's
Let
like,
me cool down.
but
It
it's like
makes me feel valid
honestly,
though. It makes me
but
feel
it,
valid though.
but I just think about people who just because genuinely think about it for a second, right? Quite a
Hmm.
few years ago, when we were in high school, superhero movies were really just starting to become popular, and there was Comic-Con and all of those other, dress up events, and it was like fun for us to have like new costumes and stuff or just to have more visual inspiration to create costumes. It was fun at that time. And then Hollywood was like, how can we ruin this for everyone?
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
never got to enjoy it because it was like immediately it was like, here's 40 other movies doing the exact same
Yeah.
storyline with the exact same boring fighting
And
scenes
then
and unrealistic expectations. Let's do it.
on top of that, like in order to watch a Marvel movie now, Wine Mom, in order to first of all understand the Marvel movie you're watching, you have to watch 30 other
All of
things.
them.
You have to watch 40 other things. You'd
And it's
watch
not happening.
So
somebody on Twitter.
Not
Hold
happening.
up. So somebody on Twitter said in order to fully enjoy, I don't know if this is true or not. But in order to fully enjoy the new Doctor Strange movie, you have to watch this episode from What If, this episode from WandaVision, the whole thing about Loki, do a backflip, and then you'll understand it. And I'm just like, bro, just tell me it's a Marvel movie. How deep can it be? There's
Bro.
no like, it's not fucking like Interstellar, all
so
right?
It's a bunch of
as
aliens doing weird superhero. Like, I'm over it. I'm
Men
done.
in
so
tights. That's basically
I'm
it
coming
is.
in on my
Honestly.
opinion here, so that there's
All right,
Okay.
all
at
right.
least something
All
a
right.
little different than just complaining, right? I don't,
Okay,
yeah,
bully.
because I think I'm
If you say
terrified.
one
First
nice
off,
thing,
no, first
you're
off, I'm
trouble.
terrified of what you're talking about with the merchandising, right? It's always
Yeah.
scary to think about that, just how much of a money machine it is. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
really like I watched all of What If. I loved it. I thought it was animated beautifully. I thought there was a lot of
Yeah.
good effort put into it, and I liked what they did with it. And then
Yeah.
I went to visit fam, and there was a
Simple-minded.
kid there, And he had Lego toys of like every variant character. And it was like, they scan, because now the kids got to get every fucking Captain Marvel in every universe. I was
Yep.
like, oh my God, this is crazy. This
cringe.
scheme is ingenious.
Yeah.
But
Well, this is
my middle ground is what I was arguing with Raza, and I have to be fair as an anime geek. I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't say it. Is like, sometimes I think it's okay to have a template for the films if you can execute well. Like if it works in many, like if
But
you're able
I'm
to apply it tastefully with changes. But I agree with you, Raza, that I don't think it's been happening enough as of late.
yeah, because there's no changes. There's literally no changes
You think
at all.
every one of them has the same plot
they're
structure?
all the same.
They're all the same now.
Bailey,
They're
it's
Post
all
Endgame,
literally
they're all
very
the same.
similar, but they're not all the
no.
same. I think they're getting
No.
too similar. Yes, they're
No.
not all the
The
same.
thing is, no, listen.
Okay,
The
Bailey.
thing is that all of these directors grew up on the cartoon and TV shows and comic books of these stories, right? And all of them have their own comic book or part of a series or a character depiction that they feel is more genuine to the character. And so instead, they just keep redoing the movies because they're like, no, it's not done right. It has to be done this way or it has to be done that way. Because if you notice, as somebody who is a fan of comic book stuff, I watched the animated Spider-Man series when I was a fucking kid because I enjoyed it. And I watched those superhero things, animated superhero things. And I can see where characters are being modeled after comic book character versus the cartoon TV character from the 90s. Like, you can see that they're just taking the same movies with the same plot lines and just rebuilding the character to be like a character that they prefer, right? Because I've told you guys this. As the character of Peter Parker, I feel like Tobey did the best job being the genuine character of Peter Parker aside from Spider-Man. But other people feel that maybe Andrew Garfield did it better, or the other guy,
Garfield did.
Right, and they feel like those characters depicted a better Peter Parker. I disagree because one is more relatable to me versus the characters that I watched growing up. You can see that they're just trying to slightly change the character to what they remember, but just presenting the same movie. Legitimately. With slight differences based, because you can tell, because a lot of people will say, well, this one's more true to the comic. Well, this one's more true to the cartoon. It's like, yeah, we know this. That's what they're doing. They're recreating what they felt more connected to by using the same stories, just slightly altering.
In my opinion, right, that's called adapting a different medium to film, right? So it's like, no, I'm serious, fam, because you can get grumpy. It's fair, but we're also retelling the same. Look how many Robin Hood films they've made, and look how many fucking Cinderella films they've made, right? You can have that critique, but every movie is resemblance of some plot that the director watched while they were in their youth. So if we're saying the critique is that they're influenced by a piece of media, and they're bringing that to film, then like fuck half the movies we've watched in the past decade. You know what I mean?
And I agree with that because I feel personally, and I mean this is the whole point of movies, right? I feel like there's been tons of different Cinderellas. There's been tons of different Sleeping Beauties. There have been tons of different. I mean, we had Maleficent, which was basically just Snow White told from a different perspective. The same with Alice in Wonderland. We have multiple Alice in Wonderlands. We have the cartoon, and then we have the animated, and we have the Johnny Depp one. Same thing with Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. The original was great. We have a Johnny Depp one. I don't disagree with you that this is commonplace in media. But the difference between those movies that come up maybe every 5 to 10 years, instead we have 60 fucking superhero movies in the last fucking 2 years. I'm over it. Yeah. How many more of the same storyline, slightly retold, characters slightly different, slightly adapted, maybe because this director feels like he was more connected to the character in the story because of his childhood and he can tell the story the best. Okay, fuck off. We don't care. Tell it in 10 years or something. Wait until the moment is right. Because personally, I'm sure that there's great movies out there, like specifically with the new Batman. I have not been able to watch it because I cannot bother to bring myself to be stressed out about the fucking movie. But I know that I'm possibly missing out on what could be a great movie because I'm so tired of hearing about superhero stuff. And that's what directors are not understanding. When you continue to recreate the same bullshit over and over again, you're losing what could potentially be a fan base because we're like, okay, it's the same bullshit. I don't want to watch this. I don't care. I'm tired of it. I want something else, something new. How many more Batmans do we need to know about? You know what I mean? And then they're losing a whole audience by doing that. Release it at the right time. Wait it out. You know, if they had waited a few more years to release the Batman movie, probably would have done even better than it did. That's what I'm saying. Like, give it some more space. Why do we have to keep pumping out superhero shit every fucking year?
Because
Every year. Well, this is my point.
And I'm very glad China is banning these movies now.
It's like it's a conflicting theory in terms of like trying to communicate your media, though, right? Like you either gotta keep the iron hot and keep stoking the stove, or you gotta hope that I can make a big bonfire every few years. But then to make that big bonfire every few years, you gotta take that gamble that it's gonna work. If I keep throwing out as many shots as I have, then at least one round in this 30-round clip is gonna hit.
Yeah, but we've talked about this before. Is that like you're just cheapening your own work by doing this, and you're competing in a market that you're built to fail.
And then I've heard like directors who have made Marvel, like the MCU movies, who have gone and like they do it because they're like, okay, first of all, it helps our career out. People know us now, right? So like there are pros and cons about working on a Marvel movie, right? But when the end game is like literally like a theme park, you sort of like lose that artistic integrity.
Well, but here's the thing though, with these superhero movies, they have someone like you, Raza, in a fucking chokehold because you're gonna watch every single one, whether you care or not. You're gonna watch them because you're already a superhero fan. And any opportunity to see a character that you love, even if it's not depicted how you would hope it would be, any opportunity to see a character you love depicted in any format or any style that a different director, because you're already a fan of the base character. You're already a fan of the character. So you're going to watch more stuff about it. It's like with The Shining, right? For me, if they keep making more movies with characters and developing plot lines from The Shining, I'm going to watch every fucking one. I don't care how burnt out I get. I'm going to watch them all because I love the base series and the characters so much. And they know that. Especially the superhero stuff. They know that.
The perfect analogy somebody said to me, Kevin Feige is like a manager at KFC, and then all the directors are the line cooks that make your burgers and stuff. So like they quickly put out those burgers, and then that's what you get a candy or a high cholesterol greasy thing. And that is an MCU movie now because it's all filler to me.
Well, that's for to benefit you two. That's a good analogy to contrast and work with Wine Mom shit. Because whenever you get a good greasy burger chain, people eat there for a minute and they eat a dickload of those greasy burgers. But you know what? That shit always closes after 2 years. They always those burger joints never be staying open because people get sick of the big juicy greasy burger.
I just want to say, like, it sucks because I love creativity in movies. I love seeing other stories retold and done in a different new way, right? Like I've talked about this with Peter Pan, where they have the movie Hook come out, you know? Like I thought that was great that they have the animated and then they have the movie Hook. It's just they're slightly different stories, but they're slightly different movies, and it just works. It's fun, it's exciting, it's new. And same thing with Disney princess stuff. I don't fucking care much for it, but I think it's cool that I think specifically the movie Maleficent was so smart because they're like, let's tell this story, but let's tell it from a villain story instead, or a
Yeah, yeah,
supposed villain. You know, they were smart about how they brought it back. Same thing with.
yeah.
Go
What's
ahead,
the
Bailey.
difference between that and Marvel? You're just justified. They're taking children's
Like,
stories that already exist that they were inspired by. It's like the same. It's apples and oranges, you know? So it's like
But
I
the
kind
difference
of
is, the difference is we're not getting 12 Sleeping Beauty movies in 2 years. We got one, and then we didn't get another one for many years later. And
well,
they're
you also
actually
had
these
that
movies
one
are
with Chris
classic
Hemsworth and you
cartoons.
also had that other one. There was
What
like
are you
multiple
talking
Cinderella
about?
movies. Yeah. But whatever. I digress. That's a fair argument. You see a fair
Bailey,
argument.
never allow me to have a point that's successful. It cannot happen. But no, I see what you're saying. It's relatively similar in the, you know, if you look at it perspective
Yeah.
wise, yeah, you're rebuilding and you're retelling the story. But what I'm saying is it's very different. The story is it's different. And the
oh,
big thing for me is it's the period of time. You have to own the fact that we're getting Marvel and what's the other one? I don't really care. Disney, all these movies, these superhero fucking universe movies, we're getting them like back to back to back to back to back to back.
mhm.
Like there's so many movies that have come, like there was literally like 4
So,
superhero
but
movies
some
in one
people
year.
want that. So that's fair that you can be sick of right? So just maybe that fatigue just doesn't exist in other people. Like, does that
Well,
make
A
it's
them?
showing.
a lot of people are starting to feel it, Bailey, because a lot of
That's
people
what
are starting to
I've
complain.
seen. Yeah,
People who
I've
are
seen.
genuine
But
fans
as we're
are the
seeing,
ones that are having the fatigue.
they're still spending
But
they're still making $180 million though.
people are seeing it,
I
but they're not
okay,
enjoying it
but I've
because
just
it's like
explained
the
to you why that's
lowest
happening.
Marvel
I
movie
just told
rated.
you why that's
One of
happening.
the lowest.
They're gonna keep watching it because it's characters that they love, and they will
They're
continue
already
to watch it because
invested.
they want to see how they're being depicted, what story is being told. They want to at least know. That's the
Yeah.
truth. Is it not? I just said that's why these superhero movies have Raza in a chokehold, because he'll watch every fucking one because he wants to see characters that he cares about in
Not
another movie,
anymore. Why now?
regardless of whether he
Not
cares or
anymore.
not.
Yeah.
I'm not wrong,
Is it?
Raza. I know I'm right. You'll watch every single fucking one.
I mean, I will like. I'm not hyped to watch. Like, I won't go out of my way to watch them.
But
Like,
you'll
I
watch it.
literally.
That's my
See,
Yeah,
even if you
but
don't care.
because I don't think I understand where your passion is coming from and I see the logic
You're a
behind your point,
bully.
so you're not wrong. I'm being what fuck you. But
You
it's
fuck you.
I think it's like as I'm reading from the homie JR, it ain't they haven't really put out that many movies. They put out 2 to 3 movies, right? They've been putting out the dickload of TV shows, so it's almost like
because of the
it could be
pandemic, though.
But
draining to
those
you,
are
but this is also
still
because you're
included in the
approaching it
content.
with but no one's twisting your arm telling you got to watch it all and you need to watch this in that order. This is like very
Really?
justified in your
Well,
opinion,
every
right?
conversation is
That's
hijacked by a
literally
superhero.
everything. Always, it's always you got to watch the superhero. You guys basically are
We
like
do it.
watch Batman
We
or I'm
do
gonna kill you.
it.
So come on, you can't sit there and tell me that that's not the case. It's true. That's the case. People are peddling these fucking movies like literally as if their lives.
So,
It's
but
their
maybe
lives.
you shouldn't be influenced by other people's pop culture so much.
Right. That's
You know
why
what I
I
mean?
still
That
haven't
would
watched Batman,
exactly. So that's why I'm
and
supportive
I
of you
still
being
haven't.
on
I
point
haven't
with
watched.
your sass here. You know what I mean? I'm not
Uh-huh.
denying your opinion.
Listen, I gave in and watched No Way Home and was disappointed. Okay.
Okay.
Don't
So
stress me.
then, since you've been on flames here, on flames, do you
Uh-huh.
think they've ruined movies? Do you think it's ruined like modern storytelling in movies? If you're this
No,
passionate,
I
no?
don't. I don't think that they've ruined it. I think it's almost good in a way because it's encouraging directors to sort of like be more creative and think out of the box, and like it's causing them to work harder against each other. But I think that they're just wasting time by doing it with movies that don't need it anymore. Like we
Hmm.
don't need any more Batman stories. Tell me a story about something else. Like, why hasn't anyone done another James and the Giant Peach?
There is
Why
one.
not? That movie's great. Let's get another one. Let's get an updated version of that. Why not? It's a
I
classic.
guess there's already so many of there's 2 of those already, you know what I'm saying?
So
And you're
there's 12
complaining about
superhero movies.
All right.
I was just about to
All
say,
right.
Bailey, there's like
I'm
100
just
superheroes
saying.
That's well,
already.
end up
But I
that's
mean,
a
like,
circular
when,
argument, so that's
right?
fair.
But
It's
when was the
valid.
last
It's
time we
valid.
had a James? When was the last time we had a James and the Giant Peach movie?
And
In the
like,
90s.
and
No.
Marvel has like, to me, it's a yes or no answer. Like, I don't think it has ruined movies, but I feel like it's going to, because we're already at the cusps of that. Because Marvel has put this idea in everybody's head that everything needs to be in a shared universe. Everything needs to be connected,
Right.
right? So like I think that and then to your point, I think putting directors initially pre Endgame, putting directors like in Marvel movies were challenging them because everything was still fresh. But now
Yes.
Kevin Feige, I haven't told Bailey this, but like Kevin Feige, he gives him a template and says, "Here, this is what you do." Like Sam Raimi said, like the director of March, or not March Gonna Madness, but director of
Moonlight or Moonrise or whatever.
this new Stephen Doctor Strange
Oh,
movie
Yeah.
was um like there was an idea that was already there, and his job was to just execute it, right? And I'm
yeah.
thinking that's not how directors direct movies. They
In
Right.
come
many
in.
cases, it is. It is. That's when you go to film school. That's what they tell you. The director gets a script, and the director comes in and executes.
but
the
Bailey,
script.
No,
It's
but
not.
you could argue that.
I'm saying when a director, first of all, writes and produces and directs their own thing, which a lot of directors do. This movie I want you to see, called Everything Everywhere All at Once, the perfect example of a director being in charge of almost everything except for the production, right? But when a director comes in and like has to work within the Marvel template, I'm just like, it kind of sort of, they're working with one hand behind their back. Like Sam Raimi is a good director, right? Like I saw his touch, his sort of like influence in that movie, but I really wanted him to get more freedom.
I just feel like how can you sit there and say, well, that's what happens when you go to film school. That's how they teach you to be, is to follow the rules. It's like, but what does that
What about
get you?
creativity?
What does that get
Yeah.
you? The same movies over and over again.
It's just
Like, you wouldn't
like
tell a musician, we can only do what the only original musician did. We can only do music in that template only. How would we ever get the cool, unique fusion, crazy music we get nowadays? These mashups, like, so many artists are successful off music that they literally broke the fucking rule. So it's the same thing with movies. Break the fucking rule. Let's do something new. Let's change it up. Let's have more variety. Like,
yeah,
someone like
and
me, I feel like there's no movies for me. I'm
come
not
on, man.
excited to watch anything. I look at what I sometimes I want to go to the movie theater. I look up the lineup and I'm like, there's no fucking way I'm paying for that.
Yeah, like I was even like like a lot of film directors were like, yeah, they have a script, they have everything there, but they're at least allowed to like, deviate
I don't know.
of a
Not in
little. Whereas
90% of the
a
situations,
Kevin,
bro.
But
It's
that's the
a
no,
problem.
I have
lucky,
homies who
very
do work
artistic
Problem.
thing. Okay.
in movie industry, and they tell me you should see the freedom that directors are given in their line of work. But for Marvel directors, it's you can't really add your own. You could add your own spin to it in the beginning, but now I think because they have
It's a
seen a
franchise
success
now.
story, they're like, oh, this works. Let's keep it as is. Why change something that doesn't need to be changed, right? They're seeing
See,
money.
but I did
Right?
that's why I have been enjoying the television shows because I don't think it's following the same
The
structure every
television shows,
time.
I've even showed you the television
Yeah.
shows. I was just like, bro, episode 4 for some reason on all of them, something
Yeah.
it picks up for some. There's a template right there. there's an absolute template
Hear you,
like
Bailey.
that.
I think you're just optimistic. I think you're just like hopeful that that the world of creativity is not really that dark, because to tell you the truth, it's very dark to think that people who are supposed to give us some of the most creative ideas and things that are supposed to make us, it's a fucking movie. You can be as out of the box as you want. They're meant
Mhm.
to expand your disbelief, you know what I mean? They're meant to do that. And it's very sad when you see these things and you're like, oh, all these movies that we like love, we're now realizing, oh, it's just a template that everybody has to follow.
Mhm.
Because with Disney, they have rules. It's how it works. I mean, we're seeing how that all happened with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. They have fucking rules that you have to follow. And they make that very
What does that
fucking
have to
clear
do with them? What does
because
Disney have to do with them?
because I'm saying these
Their holders,
franchises.
everything.
I'm saying when it comes to franchises, there's a lot of rules and there's a way you have to be and rules that you have to follow. And if you don't, you get kicked. That's what I'm trying to say to you. It's the same thing with Marvel. They have their rules and shit, like things you have to follow, and if you don't follow them, you get kicked. I
Yeah,
mean,
like
we saw this
yeah,
because was there not a huge discussion around Jack Snyder or Jake Snyder, whatever the fuck his name is? I don't
Zack
know.
Snyder,
Zack Snyder,
Jackson.
yeah. And
Yeah.
everybody was so upset because he didn't get when they saw the director's cut, it was so different from the movie that was released. It's like because he didn't have a choice. He didn't have the luxury of freedom to make a decision because he was deciding to direct a franchise movie. You get what you get.
Mhm.
If you're not going to
Mhm.
break the mold and do something completely different,
Yeah.
it's separate from that. You know, if you're not going to try, then I'm sorry, but those are the rules you got to
And it
follow.
ultimately, yeah, and ultimately, I think at the end of the day, this kind of falls on the studio itself, right? It's like
Right.
what they want and stuff. So it's just like,
Because
it's
they
just
don't
like
want you to pervert their
ultimately,
characters. That's why. They don't want you
and
to deviate too far from the characters that they have created because they want to continue to make money. Because the
yeah,
reality is if you say,
But
hey,
and a
I want to
story
make a
too.
Spider-Man, but listen, if they're like, hey, I want to make a Spider-Man movie, but I want to make it completely my own direction, completely my own thing, it's a copyright issue because you're
Yeah.
using their character to tell your own story. Like you can't
Oh.
just take SpongeBob and then make a superhero movie with SpongeBob as a superhero. You can't do that because it's Nickelodeon's character. You can't just do that. Like it has
Um.
to be in line with the franchise, with
Yeah.
what's it has to make sense with what they're doing with other things, right?
Yeah, so yeah, I see what you're saying. So like if a character like yeah, and I see this in Marvel movies. Like if they have like a Doctor Strange and a Spider-Man, and then Doctor Strange has to act a certain way because they have to show the consistency from
Right.
far or whatever the last Spider-Man movie was to this a movie. So like it kind of like leaves the director going just like,
In a
okay, how do
chokehold.
I? Yeah, but again, it's just Marvel's template, and it's just I personally I don't if it works it works, but I just wish that everything was
Well, it only
let
works because
calm
it
down
only
more.
it only works because their target audience is children who don't have the ability to be original thinkers right now. That's why it works.
that's
Yes,
hot
Bailey.
take. I
Yes,
disagree with
Bailey.
that strongly because that's I
I
can't
mean, how can you
as
disagree with
someone
that, Bailey?
as someone who as I'm sitting here I love Gundam. I would be a fucking hypocrite if I agreed with you here because I think it's okay to take a template of a story structure and pump it out in that way. I don't think it means you lack critical thinking, and I think there is room for developing unique characters. There is something to be said about when you add a chokehold on your director and you do something like they did with Justice League and they switch out the director and they change the edits, or they do what they did with fucking the fucking Suicide Squad, and they'll bring in a different company to edit the
What
trailer.
did they do?
All that
Oh, right.
studio intervention shit. When you force it to be a template, that's again why I felt like maybe yeah, the Doctor Strange. I'm agreeing with Raza. Some of the modern shit is definitely really feeling templatey to me, and it's not allowing different character development. But I think it's like a cop out to say they're not intelligent, because then anyone who reads romance novels is unintelligent. Anyone who reads comics online is
No, Bailey,
unintelligent.
that doesn't make
Anyone,
sense. What you're
yes,
saying
because
doesn't make
those are the
sense. No,
same.
because
You're
now you're
repeating
taking
the
it.
same
I
story
was
on
gonna
an
no no
easy,
no. I was gonna
digestible way.
allow you. I was gonna allow you to have your point, and I was gonna mind my business about it, and I was gonna leave you be. But then you started bringing in other genres, which I don't
Jesus
think is
Christ.
a fair thing to do. Because if you're gonna talk about romance movies, those are directed for adults, and yeah, it's usually the same stories. I'm not gonna disagree, but what I'm saying is Marvel movies are lazy because they know
Steve,
that they're selling it. At, they know that they are selling it to children. And look, I'm not saying children are stupid, but children are stupid, Bailey, and they're going to like whatever all their friends like cuz it's a cartoon or it's a superhero movie, and they're able to see superheroes as what they are, superheroes, whereas for us we're like, as adults, superheroes are less superheroes and more people with just fucked up lives. But children are looking at it more romanticized. And that's how they're able to get away with, because it's just about making money. And the easiest people to make money off of are children. Not because they're all stupid, but because they're way more impressionable, which is kind of stupid.
I
They don't have
really
their own
don't
opinions
feel.
yet.
I don't feel a lot of the tones of a lot of this shit. Everything I just watched was hyper violence. Like it's not necessarily. You could
Because they're
definitely.
trying because they're trying to slowly move it into like adult territory, but they're not landing. I'm not
That's
going
in
to
your
disagree with you.
opinion. That's in
I,
your opinion. You know what I'm
they're
saying?
not landing. They're not landing
Stephen
because
King.
It's
I've had
just
tons
Stephen
of people.
King has written
I've
a
had
million
tons.
trash novels, and he's
I have
still
had
goaded
tons.
for using the same story structure he's written 80 times. He
I've
wrote
seen
one of your
tons of
favorite
people.
movies, and it's the same
I've seen
template he's
tons of
used.
people. I have seen tons of people who are adults say it's watered down
right.
violence. It's an attempt to bring it into adulthood, but it's not quite there. And
So
listen, don't talk shit about Stephen King because you're trying to upset my feelings. I never said that his books were not all the same. It's literally all the same stories, but he just changes
Okay.
up the characters and things that how they does them. I don't disagree. But
Okay.
do not shit on The Shining, okay? That is its own fucking thing. It's very separate from all of Stephen King's novels. Don't come for The
And
Shining,
I feel
okay?
that
You're
way
gonna
about
dig
some
yourself a
Marvel
hole.
shit. I feel that way about some
I'm
Marvel
gonna say,
shit. We're at an
I'm gonna
impasse.
say,
That's the
I'm gonna
same
say,
problem.
I'm gonna say there are some superhero movies that can still stand the test of time. I do not disagree with that. But what I'm
X-Men
saying is
First Class.
we're talking about the current environment for superhero movies, and it's garbage. Okay? Because I still think that the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies are great. I love them. I cherish them. As somebody who hates superhero stuff, I cherish them. But the current
Um,
environment, it's boring.
yeah,
It's
okay,
boring.
so just to add some equilibrium to between two of my hosts here, uh, I would say that like Marvel, they are, I think they're soul searching right now. They're soul searching
Raja.
for a feel, for their vibe. No,
Mm.
I'm not agreeing with anybody here. I'm just saying they're they're trying out this new adult thing, this new mature sort of take, and they're trying it with Disney kind of holding them back because you can't be full R rated, right? Unless you're like all the new adult style Marvel stuff is still holding back punches because it has to appeal to a wider audience. So I just think they are sort of like they're they're trying to diversify themselves. They're trying to get into. They're trying to go towards this somewhat hyper violent stuff. This somewhat um, uh, psycho like this psychology side of it, or like WandaVision, and like trying to become. It's trying to become something more than a superhero movie. That's what I think the direction it's going. And I personally think it's a bit too early to tell what they're doing. But I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it's going to be bad. It's going to be all awful. Uh, but from what I've seen in the past, or in these last two movies, for example, it's just gonna, to me, it just looks like they're they're gonna try, but I feel like it's gonna come back to this whole superhero realm, and it's gonna be just consistently this, like that sort of like um uh, sort of like that success story that they're gonna repeat all over again, because like this new Doctor Strange movie, yes, it is a horror movie to people, It is a horror movie to people, right? Right? But it's done in a way that is, let's just say to people it's compatible with superheroes. To me, it's a very different type of opinion. But ultimately, I think they're trying to become something different. But let's see how it ends at the end. Like in 2 years
I see
time.
what you mean.
Once
Like you
we're
think they're trying to change it up, but it's just not happening, and it's not going to happen.
it's not good. Yeah, it's just like because the Doctor Strange movie was leaning towards the horror side, but it ended in an action type of beat, right? Like there
Right.
were horror elements, but it still came back to the superhero thing. And I'm thinking if you're gonna go into the horror thing, maybe lean into it. And if you're gonna hire a horror director, you're
Yeah.
kind of telling people it's gonna be a horror movie, right?
I mean,
So
we've talked about this with
yeah.
other parts, with other franchises where they've done the same thing. They've hired a director and then they put him in a chokehold. It's just what they do,
Mhm.
which is so stupid. Why hire?
Yeah.
Why hire somebody and then fuck up their career with your chokehold? It's so stupid. Give it
I
just
would
give it a break. Give us a little break.
Money.
Well, that's exactly my
Money.
point,
yeah.
Bailey. That's the whole
Yeah.
point I've been making this whole time. Is that there's no
Disney
integrity in these movies anymore. It's all about money and nothing else. They're not doing anything exciting or new or anything.
But Disney,
yeah.
you could sponsor us. You want to give us money? We'll take
No,
the money.
Disney, I
Take the
don't want
money.
you to put me in a
Yeah.
chokehold because I'm never going to be nice to your company.
I'll direct a
Sorry.
film. I'll direct a film or two.
Yeah, you
Come
can have
on.
Bailey because he apparently is a sellout.
Yeah.
But yet when
So am I.
I said I would go on Joe Rogan, I got told I was a sellout when I just want to go and have a fight with Joe.
We
But
didn't tell you we were sell out. We
Bailey
were
told
saying
me that it
okay.
was.
What were we saying, Raza? Defend
I
us, please.
I said don't go on Joe Rogan is because you're giving him a reason to say something like negative or to like to enforce Joe Rogan's sort of like perspective and stuff.
Yeah.
You're actually giving him a voice or giving him a chance. When I said I'm not sure about Barry, but don't do that. Don't give him your energy.
I'm not afraid of Joe.
It's
But why do
not
you
you're
want to
not being
bother?
afraid or anything. Yeah, it's just
Because
like
I
don't.
don't back down from anyone.
But
No,
it
this
isn't
is
backing
therapy.
down.
I
This
think
is
that's very
therapy.
clear.
You
I
know?
think that's very clear.
You
I have
must
opinions and
zen
I
out.
don't back down.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Do you
saying.
think
Like you
that any of
don't
this
need
has been a
to.
zen for me? Come on.
All right, you're insane.
Valid. Okay, so let's break the ice. Let's break the ice. I got our Am I the Asshole for us, and then we're going to touch back on the topic quickly to round it up. We did rant a while, so I'll get another hot take from Wine Mom, though.
Oh,
So,
great.
Am I the asshole? I told a girl her
Yes.
boyfriend is cheating. I told this girl, 24 female, that her boyfriend, my ex, 26 male, is cheating on her with me, 23 female. I have known since the start and we have been on and off for years. I finally decided to tell her because they're getting married and he is honestly not a good guy. She pretty much told me to go pound sand. LOL, she straight up did not believe me. Of course, he has now blocked me and deleted me. I just feel sad and shocked for her, and I low-key regret telling her. Or was it the right thing?
Are you serious?
Why did he wait till the
Is this a
water?
genuine thing that I'm having to hear about right now?
Yeah.
Is this
Unfortunately.
girl completely
Oh.
unself-aware?
Oh, yeah.
This girl,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. She's not an asshole for telling the girl. She's an asshole for thinking that she should be on a fucking high horse after literally cheating with someone on and off for years, knowing that they were in a relationship and fucking engaged. You are
I
an
know.
asshole,
I love how
sweetheart.
she just drops it at the end that they're
Goodbye.
getting married, you know?
Like, don't post your fucking... She should be embarrassed. You don't post
Wait.
that online. Are you serious?
Oh, this is a dude, by the way. You got me confused. This is a
No.
dude saying this.
No.
You
No.
sure?
It's with
This
me,
is a girl
23
saying that her
female.
boyfriend is engaged.
Oh, I fucking had
Yeah.
a dude's voice in my head the entire time reading that. All right. All right. My whole thing is, why do you wait till the wedding
But
if you
why?
knew?
After, as soon as you found out he was sleeping with somebody else, you're out. Bye bye.
Girl.
See you.
Yeah, dude.
And I'm telling her screenshots, messages, all of it provided, delivered day one, bro. The
This is
second I
dumb.
find out, it's over.
This is
Finish.
dumb.
You will be single. Don't fuck with
Yeah.
me and somebody else at the same time.
And when she dug
That
her
girl
own
is
grave in this
messy.
situation.
That girl is messy. She knew exactly what she was
Situation.
doing. She knew exactly what she was doing, and she waited for her opportunity. Because this is the thing. She thought by telling that other, listen, women
That's what you
support
think.
women.
Do you
Women
think
support
it's
women. But
all
she
right?
was like, let me have her dump him so I can have him truly. That's what that was. That was not, let me help you out, girlfriend. Let me
Woo.
let you know. That was, I knew the whole time, bitch, and I was gonna break your relationship up. And then it didn't work. And so now she's like, oh, am I the asshole for just trying to be a good person? Girl, bye. Finished. Mm-mm.
This hit home.
Spicy
Bro,
wine
that
mom.
This hit home, isn't it?
that high horse behavior, you had the audacity to be on and off with that man knowing that he was had proposed to another person.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
It's kind of
I don't
sus.
care about your am I the asshole. I don't care about your feelings. Sorry. Bye
Hey.
bye.
Yeah, shout
Sorry,
out to
I
Ghost
just
Boy Girl for the extra
yeah.
sub.
Thanks for the sub.
Thanks for the sub, Scrub.
If you watch the show live and you're listening to the recorded version, you can tune in on Mondays where we actually hang out with the chat after recording the podcast. Sorry, Raza, can you
Okay.
continue bitching about this asshole?
Me? Oh,
I was just fucking around.
I think he's awful, or this person is awful. Again, my whole thing is, why wait till the wedding? You had ample time
Bro.
to do it.
Like, you gave the girl no opportunity. Like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah,
Because this is the
homemaker.
thing. How, as a woman, can you watch another woman literally go through this? Like, do people not understand what getting engaged and married to a person is? That's not just, this is my boyfriend that I've been dating for 6 months. This is somebody I'm going to fucking marry, and you are going to be skeevy in secret and then be like, oh, you're about to get married. Now I'm going to tell you. Go fuck yourself.
Hey,
Please.
Subtrain. Shout out, Inf. Thank you, boys.
Thanks, Imp.
4 months. Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate it.
No, but yeah, I think people are grimy.
That is
In that sense.
disgusting.
Yeah,
Like,
people
why
are
did you even
grimy.
post that on Reddit? Like, you really just thought, like, you thought you did something. You should be embarrassed.
This is why
Get
I
off
think
the internet.
Reddit is like, you know,
That has to
low
be a
tier.
troll. That has to be a troll.
Because she shit like
That
this.
cannot be a real post. That has to be a troll.
It is a real post. If Wall Street Bets is a subreddit, then I guarantee you this is
I'm sorry.
a
If
real.
my man is sleeping with somebody else and we are engaged and you didn't tell me the first day you slept with him, no.
No, yeah,
No.
It's
You are an asshole. Get out of
you
here.
are a bad person, and you should go think about what you just did, or I'm gonna put you into
Honestly,
timeout.
you know
So help
what?
me God.
At the end of the day, though, her karma's gonna come. I hope she thinks about when she falls in love for real, what that's
And
gonna be
then
like when it's her turn.
yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be
Nah,
worse because the dude she marries into will probably already have a wife and kids.
bro, I'm telling you,
He'll be like,
it's not
yo,
nice to stay. Listen, I want everyone to
yeah,
be happy, but like,
yeah.
do not post something like that and be, am I the asshole? Girl, hello.
Girl,
As if your ass didn't
Girl.
already know you've been the asshole from beginning.
yeah.
Goodbye.
Why, mom? Get her ass. Roast
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Fucking get
Honestly,
her
I'm
ass.
about to ask for the link because somebody needs to have a
Oh, I
conversation with her.
lost it.
Well, good.
That's
Don't give it to me because I'm gonna get into a Reddit fight.
Yeah, those are like one special fight, aren't they? They're like incredible.
Honestly,
Bailey knows about them.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Not a good
Yeah.
place to be.
A
Oh
Reddit
my
boy.
God.
A Reddit boy is Bailey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the last one here, Wine Mom.
Yes.
What I want to know is you just got off on your heated rant, and when we were trying to pitch you on certain shows, we were showing you, say, the new one, Moon Knight, has Ethan Hawke. So we're like, oh, you should
Yeah.
watch this one because there's Ethan Hawke in it, right? If
Mhm.
you have this clear fatigueness and you think these movies are made for children, could there be anything done to catch your interest to go to one? Like, what is the thing that would finally be like, fuck, all right, is a Robert Pattinson enough? Like, is there anything that would cross that threshold of creativity for you?
Well, let's just say Ethan Hawke wasn't even enough to draw me in.
Ethan Hawke was mid.
As much as I love that man, don't talk shit about Ethan Hawke, Rosa.
Ethan Hawke
Help me
was
God.
mid.
It'll be the end of your days. Okay? You want to start counting down seconds because that's how long you have. My point is,
Alright.
it didn't draw me in.
One.
Don't, Raza, stop while you're ahead. My point is, Ethan Hawke didn't pull me in. As much
Okay.
as I love him, I couldn't be bothered. So at this point, unless there is no superhero movies, at least for the next 5 to 10 years, it's not gonna happen.
So strictly
Okay.
time.
I need a break, Bailey. I need more horror movies. I need more just indie, creative, different, unique concepts. I want more foreign films. It's enough now. I've had enough of this American carbon cut bullshit. I'm
They
over it.
exist out there then.
I'm
Maybe just
over. Yeah, but let's make that more mainstream. Okay, let's bring them into the light for a little bit. We had Parasite, which everyone was upset. I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard a lot of great things about it, and it was a big piece, and it was considered to be indie because it was Korean film. So it's like, let's get more of that going on for a little while.
You just gotta go in the weird little corners of the internet.
No, but I don't
maybe
want to go. I don't want to go into the weird little corners. I want
Why?
them to have their opportunity because I want them to have their opportunity to be respected, to be seen, to have a little bit of forefront. Let's put the American carbon cut superhero shit to the side. Let them be indie for
Respect
once.
the Artur, Bailey. Respect the Artur of the
I'm just saying, it's like we had movies like Fight Club and Pulp Fiction and
book. Oh no, not Pulp, but the Fight Club was a book. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but those movies though, Bailey, those movies, they just were so great, and they weren't a repetitive superhero movie. Is what I'm saying. Like, let's do more of that stuff. That's what
Watch
I want. More of that
Everything
stuff.
Everywhere All at Once. One. I think you
I
really
know.
like
Panda
that.
keeps telling me to.
That was a good
I-
point to bring up for director stuff too, Raza. That was a good film to claim. You
What?
shut me up real quick when I was critiquing how directors work, and you bring up Everything Everywhere All at Once. I was like, oh fuck, he stumped me.
Well, it's like because we even had that new cartoon movie with the panda, the red panda, that Toronto.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And
I know what you're talking
everybody
about.
was loving that, and it was like a new concept, and it was like a different sort of like fairy tale story being told. It's like, yeah, let's get more of that stuff. Like, I'm not saying let's have another Monsters Inc. high, because we didn't even need the second Monsters
Don't you
Inc.
talk about
movie.
Monsters Inc. Fine, Mom. Don't you not say anything about Monsters Inc. I love me some Saul.
You
That is
take
it?
that back.
We
Take
did
that
not
back.
need more of those movies. It's the same thing. We
Great
didn't need more
movie.
Toy Stories either. We don't need this Buzz Lightyear movie either. But at least it's not another superhero movie. I mean, technically it is, but
The new Buzz Lightyear movie is just a movie of enforcing American the military complex
Exactly.
in space.
We'll see
I
how
love
that
it.
goes. Yeah, that will be
I
an
love it.
interesting one. And yeah, I got a shout out. It's called Turning Red. Is the movie you're thinking of? And
There we
I
go,
didn't
that's
know
it.
it was Pixar too. That's surprising. That surprises
Well,
me.
it's
Yeah,
in
and that's
Toronto. Is that the one in Toronto?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. And
Yeah,
that's
okay,
that's
yeah.
another thing, is like Pixar's been kind of quiet lately. We haven't gotten much from them. Why don't we give them some room to create? Because this is another thing too. I don't want to keep ranting about this because I know you guys are going to start getting bored of me. But the thing is, like, there's other big companies that have great movies and great content that can't even get in the current landscape. They can't. There's no room for them because we're so busy watching whatever Disney and Marvel wants to put out. And this movie, Turning Red, apparently has had raving reviews, and it's been seen as this great new movie. And it's caused a lot of controversy online, given a lot of people things to have opinions about. That's exciting. You know?
Yeah, I'm
No,
gonna
that's
and then yeah,
It's a valid
I'm gonna
argument.
see the Lightyear movie because of Chris Evans. That's what I point out.
Oh my
out there.
gosh. But that Turning Red, is that not what cultural background is that story from?
I think it's Asian. I'm pretty sure it's Asian.
It's Asian of some sort. I think Chinese, but I could be incorrect, and I am putting a big star on that.
Yeah. But it's like we don't have a lot of that sort of stuff going on because I know fairy tales are the same all across the board. Every culture has the same fairy tale, just told slightly different. Because if you think about it, Turning Red is not very far from something like Beauty and the Beast, except it's more about the beast
What?
and not about beauty. If you want to expand your thinking about it, right? But it's like at least it's done in a fun, different, new cultural way. Is what I'm saying. Like it's something different.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
exciting.
I
That's
mean,
not true. It's true. And yeah, it was
What?
Chinese. And I don't know, because that's what I thought, like Shang-Chi. I thought it was like a fun take on that, but it was still the same template. So now I'm talking in circles and we're going to
I
end up
literally
with the same
forgot
argument.
about that movie. I literally forgot about Shang-Chi.
So did I.
Forgot about that movie.
But again,
To
that
me,
just highlights that. But that just highlights how these movies get stuck in the dust of what's popular, which usually happens to be a Marvel movie.
Stolen opinion from the chat then, and it's a
Like
fair
his
point,
ideas.
and I'm curious. Is like why? So it's like you're almost blaming Marvel because other studios aren't making more creative movies.
It's because they can't break into the market. It has nothing to do with that they're not wanting to, or that they're. At the end of the day, Bailey, if you create a pair of shoes, and Jordan drops a pair of shoes at the same time, and Kanye drops a pair of shoes at the same time, are you going to be comfortable dropping your shoes? Are you going to be comfortable dropping your designer shoes at the same time as them? Or are you going to wait it out and try and get in when the market's a little bit more quiet? You're going to wait till it's a little bit more quiet so that your shoe can actually get the attention. Because otherwise, everyone's going to be obsessing over Jordans and Yeezys. My point is valid, and you're going to try and argue it. But I just basically hello, come on.
It's true, but I think the media landscape is shifting, and that's the only thing I gotta prod in. That's why I think it's important to support small creators on your own rather than wait for the big studios to do it, because this is how these movements have changed. That's a wonderful part of the era that
not everybody
so
is media as savvy
remember,
as you, right? So how do
so
you do
let's
that?
remember
exactly.
Last week. Let's remember last week when we talked about video games. And that was my exact point when we talked about DLCs and stuff like that. And I said, buy indie games because they release DLCs and you're getting better quality content that's more creative. And sometimes you're getting significantly more content for less money. And that's why I'm saying investing in smaller indie stuff. And that's the same thing with movies.
But you're saying you don't. You're saying you don't go see indie films. You wait until they're in the theater. So how are you getting the directors or supporting that? You know what I mean?
I watch indie films all the time, but what I'm saying is they're not getting into theaters, and I would like them to have these opportunities. Because I'm gonna say there have been some indie films that have made it to theater, but you don't know unless you go to the website and look and see what's in theater. It's not promoted or talked about as heavily because we're too busy talking about the next big Disney project. Because when you watch commercials,
talking about America's ass, Bailey.
But the truth is, I have seen more commercials for this Moonlight thing with Ethan Hawke. I have seen so many commercials. I'm still every day I'm seeing commercials for it. I have seen maybe two commercials for Turning Red. Maybe two. And you want to know where I saw them? And you want to know where I saw them? On Twitter, from a small Asian influencer posting it on Twitter. That's where I've seen it. It's not being as heavily promoted as these other big movies who are able to spend more money and get more aggressive slots. This is the truth, Bailey. You know it's the truth.
It is the truth, but you're also not in the demographic that a Turning Red would be marketed towards, so that is a little bit biased.
But it doesn't matter. But would I not maybe like that movie if it was marketed towards me? Maybe I would watch it and like it. I'm not the demographic
but that's
for
not how marketing works nowadays, because they hit the boxes, tick these demographic boxes.
Jesus.
You're a white woman my age. You're not gonna get the automatic targeting.
But Bailey, I am not the target audience for a single superhero thing, but I still get them.
Moon Knight is about mental health.
I've never liked a single superhero content.
Moon Knight, don't play that, Bailey. Moon Knight is a superhero movie.
You watch a lot of true crime, so I guarantee the true crime box is ticked on that advertising category.
You are the worst. You just do anything to combat my opinion. It's fine. I'm right, and I'm fine with you combating my opinion. The reality is, bigger companies are able to put their shit out harder and more aggressive. It's a known fact that if you spend the money, you'll get the slot. We've seen how the Super Bowl works. You spend the money, you get the slot. But in this instance, smaller productions are not as lucky because they're competing with companies that have endless budgets. Okay?
Yeah. Like
Raza, tell me, Raza, agree with my point, please, so Bailey can be the small man out.
I don't want to. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. No, but what like I'll keep on going back to Everything Everywhere All at Once because it was supposed to perform or be out in the movie theaters longer, but because of Doctor Strange, they cut it back because they knew
you hear
it
that,
would
Bailey?
be buried underneath. But no. But this only happens when a studio times the movie around a Marvel movie. This happens quite a bit. So they have to move movies around. Now,
But they shouldn't have to.
they shouldn't have to. I agree because, for example, the AMC near my aunt's house, uh, only two screens in that theater were showing something that was in Doctor Strange. Everything else
Are you joking me?
was Doctor Strange, right? So
That's so
they
disappointing.
so the Marvel movies are becoming they're trying they're like sort of burying other stuff when they come out, but at the same time I think it's sort of cool because I didn't know about that, but it's sort of cool because now those movies that we miss will end up on streaming services that we can see, and then we can and then fall in love with them on our own
You're
terms.
right, but we also know how much money comes from box office hits. So,
Yeah,
they still
yeah,
take a significant hit when that
yeah,
happens.
yeah.
And it's upsetting.
Yeah, but like, yeah, it is upsetting, but like, I don't know, it's just like we live in a capitalist society, and like, if these big ass blockbusters sell, and there's nothing we can do about it,
I mean,
unfortunately.
if you
So
have the budget to bully everyone
do
out of the
it.
market,
Yeah, yeah.
that's what
But
happens.
yeah, it's just like, and yeah, it's ultimately like, I don't know, it's just like, it's just like, I think Marvel, what they should do if I was running the whole thing is space things out more, so give people breathing rooms. You know
That's my
what I
whole
mean?
point,
Or
Raza.
Kevin,
Because
not even
it's
just Marvel, because it
That is
isn't Marvel
literally that is
doing it. It's Kevin
literally my whole
Feige.
point. Is let's
Yeah.
space it out. Let's give people a break. Let's get work longer on these movies and just give us really good movies every once in a while instead of a bunch of the same stuff.
Yeah, no, yeah, I agree, and it's also like, because of like, I can point back to video games when there's so much,
Mm-hmm.
people get burnt out. Like I think people like the last two Call of Duties, for example, didn't sell well because people were like, what the fuck, right? So it's just like you have to like, in my opinion, you should space. Marvel movies are fine, have them come out, but I think if you space them out, you can have more people enjoy them, and then at the same time pull a wine mom in, because now she doesn't have to go 2 months later on and then because now she's invested, now she can process it, sit there, and then wait half a year or something, and then watch the next Marvel movie rather than saying, okay, I have to get mentally ready for the next one.
Yeah,
right?
the next 13 movies that are going to be
Yeah.
released this week.
This week, yeah. So it's just like, space them out, and then it also, like, I don't know. It's like becoming like a factory, in my opinion.
I'm just gonna
Yeah.
say, let it be known that I may be a hater in this situation, but you cannot say that my points are not valid. Okay? My points are
Bailey?
valid.
I think that's directed to you.
He's too busy reading chat right now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
if you're
because you
listening
should
to
be
this,
interacting with chat.
then if you're listening
You
to
told me
this,
not to interact with chat.
I'm
You know?
teasing. I'm teasing. I'm teasing. I'm being a dingus. I'm being a total dingus.
Anyways,
Okay.
it's okay. I'm comfortable because I know my opinions are valid even if I'm a hater, because even people who love movies have told me that my opinion is valid.
Right. Right.
It is
All right. No.
valid. It's
That's
just
cool.
not Marvel's responsibility either, but it's also then
It
capitalism's fault, and I hate
100%
capitalism, so.
is their responsibility because they're the ones producing the content, not me. Otherwise, I would do it differently.
Okay. Yeah. No, but at the same. Okay, so Raza is gonna just mend this whole thing
Be careful.
together because this is what he's good at now. Um.
Alright.
Uh. Marvel movies are, let's just say, they're becoming kind of like your Hershey your Hershey chocolate bars. They're they're high in sweetness. They're there to keep you entertained. They're and if you're gonna have more of them. But that's your dental bill. But it's good that we're getting these crazy cool movies that with like all these characters all from like crazy walks of life, and they're all doing these crazy things, and it's cool that we have options. We don't even have to watch all the Marvel movies. We can watch something, well, like a trilogy within the MCU or some shit like that. But at the same time, I think that like maybe that machine, that Marvel machine is sort of like hindering our entertainment value. Like we're putting more over the instead of the content, we're putting more over like the what's like we're more focused on like the cameos or like the
Yeah.
extra stuff rather
Yeah.
Watered down is the phrase you're looking
like the
for.
meat. I'm
No,
trying to
you're,
be nice about
you're
instead of the
focused
actual
on
meat.
the gimmicks, the gimmicks.
Yes. So
Yeah.
like Spider-Man for far from or the last one that came out, I still don't know what the story is on. I can tell you that right now. But what I remember is, all the cameos from all the I thought that was cool, but if you sat me down and said, Rosa, explain to me the story, I'd be like, I think it's about Spider-Men fighting their respective villains and sending them to their respective universes. I think that's it. I could be wrong, but ultimately, like if just and then we also live in a society which doesn't really force us to watch these things. So just consume things the way you want to. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
if you don't like a Marvel movie, you don't really have to watch a Marvel movie, but you've got to wait a little bit to get the Marvelness out of your system, and then you can enjoy. But ultimately, yeah, Marvel movies are somewhat becoming the same. Uh, and yeah, just take them
You had
as
it
their
there.
worth.
There you go.
Take them as their worth. Take them as
Yeah.
their worth, and don't think too hard when watching a Marvel movie because they're not for you know you're not watching them for movie making type beat, right? They're for like, oh, that's cool. Spider-Man is interacting with Thor or some shit. That's cool. You're not actually watching it for like actual like story, I guess. I don't know, but like it's
Or
becoming like
don't
a little
watch them
thing
at all. Watch something
or
else.
that or that.
Or you
I'm just
just you
trying to
just
be
just fuck it, Raza. Fuck your whole speech, all right? Fuck it. Don't
Yeah.
do none of
yeah.
that.
I'm trying to be. I'm trying here. No, I'm kidding.
No,
But no,
it's
just
okay. That's
consume
fair.
things what you want to do. Do what you want to do.
Listen,
And
I'm
wine
just staying
mom.
true to character, okay?
Yeah, no, it
Hmm?
is. I was about to make the same joke. I was about to say you're staying on brand. So if anything, it's
That's
fair.
it.
Okay, so we got the tweet of the week coming up. I like that heated debate. I think Raza just left us with some wise words. So when it comes to Marvel, you either yell at them like Wine Mom would, or just try to watch them
Suck
at your
them
own
off like
pace.
Bailey does.
Yeah, or
Lol.
yeah. I just get on my knees and say
Say
hi.
it.
It's just
All
wave.
right,
Say
all
it.
Just
right, all
wave.
right, all
I
right.
wave.
Kevin Feige is like.
Oh my gosh.
But okay, so tweet of the week is on screen. It is a little pixelated this time, so I will
Oh,
describe it a little
sorry.
bit better. That's okay. That's not on you. That wasn't a call out. So the text is, I called someone a fucking idiot at a bar in Houston when they said that Ripley was stupid for risking her life to save Jonesy. And it's a picture of like Ripley saving the kitty in Alien.
Wine Mom, have you seen Alien?
Wine
Please
Mom
tell me
hasn't
you've
seen Alien.
I have. I just watched it a long time ago, so I don't fully remember.
Okay, well,
You
there's a
don't
cat
remember
in
the
it.
saved kitty?
But if you're rescuing a cat, that's never a waste of time.
Yeah, that's never was a town. Queen
Like,
moves. Queen moves.
duh.
That's
we
okay. He
all
can't
know
have a
that.
banger every week. He can't. He's got to miss it once or twice with his tweet of the weeks.
I've had
it's
to
a good
dial it
one.
down because y'all have yelled at me that my tweet of the weeks are too risque. And I was like, okay, how does
No.
Bailey think?
Bro, this
How do I
man
do what
goes
Bailey
from
thinks?
They're good.
Santa's ball sack to fucking cats.
What?
There's a middle ground there somewhere. You know what I mean?
All right, do you want to see what my runner up was? All right, let's test
Two
Bailey's.
tweets of the week?
No. I mean, yeah.
Technically, Raza, before you just get mad and tell me no, maybe think about what you're answering to.
I'm in a mood now because somebody
Raza's just like,
came.
shut up, Wine Mom. No, the answer is
my-
no. I don't even care what you said. Just a no.
Wine Mom, I would.
What?
Yeah. No.
You
I
would
don't
rather
know.
die than insult me? That's an accurate
Yes.
response.
Yes.
Okay, you're taking. We'll show the chat the tweet of the week after when we're in just chatting mode. So if you're listening,
Okay, so
to this,
here, I got it. Breaking.
Oh my God.
NATO has
hold
declared.
on. Let's save it for when for chatting because people who are listening to this, you just missed out on a bonus tweet of the week because you weren't
Yeah.
here watching live. So next
That's
time, catch
very
us
true.
live.
Shut up, Bailey.
subscribe, say hi. We got a bunch of platforms. We're on Instagram all the time. We're getting into the TikToks. We're joining where the Zoomers are. And for those
Tell your
watching,
mom.
tell your mom, tell your grandma. Thanks for the subs this week. And we'll be right back. We're just tossing the outro on. Love you, kids.
Bye. Thank you again for watching us badly talk about these topics.
You can follow us on Twitch, Marching Into Madness, all one word, no space. On the gram, marching_into_madness. And on Patreon at patreon.com/marchingintomadness. And again, on Le Discord at Marching Into Madness.
Join us and Bailey will pay you 10 whole Canadian dollars.
You can follow Whitey over at gnarly_media on the Insta. You must definitely follow the life of our whole podcast, Wine Mom, at X Wine Mom X because the year's 2002, and we still have the X in our names. And me, your favorite brown boy, at _r.r_malik_.
Thank you for the third time. We love you. Drink some milk and be healthy.
Remember, kids, say no to school and yes to
It's like such bad advice. It's like here we put this well-formulated podcast together with good insight on facts and truth and political points and social issues. Don't go to school, dude.
Oh, God.
Bailey listens to
Motherfuckers
me.
shouldn't be near school after saying that.
It's like Bailey listens to me say the sentence and he goes, maybe I should say my sentence now.